According to the cloud. There we go. So you guys will have a copy of this. And let's hope the Zoom decides to go back. Let's see. Oop, good heavens. There we go. Wow. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody. Okay. So we're going to start today off with some breathing. We're going to get that um, moving in here. So as you start to breathe, you're going to use your in breath, out breath. We're going to sit cross-legged or in your chair, whatever you feel. But we're also going to focus on alignment. So for some reason, again, my camera is decided it's going to do all kinds of fun things all by itself. So it'll mostly be my voice and the instruction that's coming out of my mouth that we're going to have to visualize and work with if you can't see me. So it's a lot of deepening awareness anyway. So it's a great way to just really match your body, even out your body, move with the balance as you're going into it. So we're going to sit on your buttocks, extend your legs out if you feel okay, and if you need a back support, find yourself a wall or something for your back just to keep you supported through the process. And then
Is this a
as you
chair exercise? Is this a chair exercise today?
you can choose. This is always a choice. So whatever's best for you. Everything's modified for the chair. So anything that we do on the floor can be done in a chair. And it's
Okay.
just a matter of finding how that modification works for you. So today, wherever you're at, meet yourself where you're at. So if you feel like you need a chair, definitely get a chair. I'm always a big believer in the wall for back support. So if you're seated and you don't have a chair and you're okay to have your legs extended and in a cross-legged position, that the wall is just as good as the back of a chair. Now, if you need to sit upright, again, you're still getting the same workouts because you're extending and expanding through your tissues, through your cells, through your organs. It's not how far you go, how many reps you can do. This is none of that. So it's how you feel meeting yourself where you're at today in your structural body and your mind. So doing what you feel is best for your body today. So you can decide what feels the best. So I don't know why this is not, every time I come closer, it's like, oh, I'm going to zoom onto you. So I'm going to be able to instruct this. You'll be able to see a little bit here. I'm going to figure this out. I swear. Um,
Okay, I'm on a pillow.
so sitting tall, find your sit bones and then I'm going to describe to you, and this is a great exercise since I have this lovely mind of its own computer and you can see my face, you're going to be listening a lot for cues. So we're going to take the flesh of the buttocks, if you have your legs straight out in front of you, to get the alignment, it's going to be really important to start from an even base. So if you find your even base, you're going to move the flesh out from your buttock bones. So you're going to take that flesh out. And what I'm doing here, and I'm going to work with this camera to show that I'm going to descend my inner groins and I'm actually going to take this lower thigh and move it down at the same time I'm moving my buttock flesh out. So I'm doing this and then I'm going to do it both sides so that I have an evenness to both sides. And then I'm going to take my right leg, I'm going to cross it in first. I'm going to cross in my left leg so that my shins are braced in the front. And my shin in that front shin is as best I can get it crossed in that center point. So there's an alignment happening. And what you're going to notice is things don't always stay in alignment that way. What happens is we start to notice things that are different. And the most important thing as you go through your practice is not to judge yourself, your body, where it is today. We're just allowing it to be. So that's the really important part about always thinking about allowing it to be. If we judge our bodies, we start to have these notions that we can't do something. Maybe it leans more in that because if right side is too tight, so I can't do it on the right side. I can't do it on the left side. Now, whatever it is that program is that's running a habit of thought, we're going to let go of that. We're going to allow ourselves to fully and completely be here now, which means coming into that present moment with your practice and allowing your body to just be there, curious about it. Just explore it as you feel things come up, as you see things in your mind's eye. So if something is tight, if you're feeling something in your hip, say your right hip, you're feeling something, and it's restricting movement, be aware of it. Draw your awareness to that, and with curiosity and openness, and then use your breath to connect with that area. Say, inhale, exhale. Often when we focus and we start to have feelings come into there and we start to focus too much on something, thoughts, actions, anything, other people, other places, other times, we start to lose our moment. We lose the present moment. And that's where we build anxiety, or we build all kinds of things that do not serve for this to breathe. So when we can let go of our breath at the same time, we're releasing that area of tension as well. So throughout your practice, this is really important to breathe. That's going to expand and contract the tissue as well. And when we notice something, just to have awareness with curiosity, without judgment. So we're going to start with that understanding within our bodies, because every day is a different day, the way we see it, the way we approach it. And we have thoughts, and thoughts, the great news, thoughts can change. We can change them. We have that power to change them. So in the moment, think about, is this true for me right now? That's another thing. And if this is not true for me right now, then I'm going to come to that present moment. I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to let go of my breath. So I'm not holding tension when I hold my breath. So throughout, just make sure you're breathing, check in with your breath. If your thoughts start to wander, bring it back to your breath. So we're aligned on the right side currently. We're going to sit tall. We're going to do a little bit of expansion and contraction in the spinal area so we can get some movement through the sides of the body. If there's any adhesions, I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see what my body's doing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what's happening here. So if you've done yoga or you've heard about the movement of cat-cow, this is a modified version of cat-cow. So I'm going to bring my hands to the fronts of my knees. If you're sitting upright in a chair, you can still do the same thing. But we're going to do this a couple of different ways, seated, cross-legged. And if you do have support for your back, just see if you have a little bit of space to move back. So you see how I'm just getting a slight movement into my spine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to the fronts of my legs, and I'm going to inhale. I'm going to lift and extend my spine upward. And if you can see, and you won't see too much of it, although this is great for focusing so you can see a little closer to where my back is, this part of my back in my sacrum, where my lumbar meets my sacrum right here, tailbone, right in that center point where the spine continues upward, we're going to pay attention to what happens when we lift and straighten up, or extend upward, pardon me, and we're lifted. And what happens, we tend to kind of move forward and there becomes a little pinch in this area in the back. What we're going to do to get rid of that pinch is we're just going to extend the buttock flesh. So right up in the top of the butt, we're going to move it down towards the floor. It's a very subtle movement, but it's going to keep from this little pinch and this from protruding forward. There's a pubic bone right in here. That lifts up. This goes down. So this is something that'll go throughout practice, this notion of this extension and lift. And what this does is it activates the front of the abdomen too. And it helps to bring some strength and some understanding in this front, and then take some of that compression out of these lower spinal areas here. So when we do this movement, there's a lift and extension upward with my buttocks going down, my pubic bone coming up. That brings the abdomen in and up. When I exhale, I'm going to move my shoulders, very exaggerated, forward and round my back. And this pubic area is still coming up. and I'm rounding into like a C curve here. And I'm just going to let my head go. And then I'm going to come back up. I'm keeping my buttock bones down, and I'm lifting and extending upward. So I'm not pinching forward and giving that little pinch. So this is a little bit of a very detailed little extension of understanding in this back area. Because if you suffer from back issues, this is what's happening. When we sit down, we kind of just let go and things just crowd and compress. We want to give it some lift without pinching and take that buttocks down. Take that buttock flesh down. So then when we do some cat-cows, we're going to extend forward and lift up. So we're not going boom. We're just lifting up. So this is cat. We round your back like a cat. It's a modified version. The other one is on all fours, so it's in hands and knees, but this is what we're doing. So we're exhaling as we round the spine and bring the shoulders forward, and we're inhaling as we lift up, lift the chest, take the shoulders down, and lift through the crown of the head while we take the buttocks down. And then exhale all the air out. You can even audibly do it through your mouth, and inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale up. And you can mute yourself if you want. You don't even have to have your camera on. We're just coming down and up. And notice that my elbows are coming in so that my shoulders can come back. And then I'm exhaling and inhaling. Now, what's happening here is we've been sitting in the same position for a while. So we're going to extend the legs, shake them out. If you're sitting upright in a chair, you can just shake your legs out, shake them wherever they are. And then we're going to cross the left leg in. We have to make both sides even. So we want to create this balance between both sides of the body as we do things. Also, I'm going to remove the flesh out and pull, lifting up on the buttock flesh or the glutes. And then I'm taking my inner thigh down as I lift my buttock flesh and expose my sit bones so that I can find them. They're points of stability when you're seated on the floor. So they add to your stability and your focus and understanding of where your stable points are. That means every point that touches something is a point of potential stability that we're working strength into and getting some mobility, some functional mobility. So we're going to do the same thing this side. We're going to exhale, come back. Inhale, lift up. Elbows come in, shoulders come down. Move back. Spine extends up through the crown of the head. Exhale. We're also learning to synchronize our breath with our movement, the extension and expansion. With that extension and flexion of the spine, just getting some movement, lubrication throughout, circulation. Exhale the air out on the C curve. Inhale, extension upward. Exhale down. Inhale up. So if you're sitting with your feet on the floor, you can still press your feet, have your hands on your knees, and be doing the same thing with your breath, same way. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, one more. Exhale down. Inhale up. And then go ahead and extend your legs out. We're going to shake them out. I'm just going to turn to the front again. And I'm going to see now, you have an option here. So you can keep your legs extended. That's the big challenge, is legs extended. It's always good to have support if your legs extended and you feel like you're struggling to stay up. That's just your back and your core saying, okay, I need just a little bit of support, and that's okay. You can bring your soles of your feet together. See how that feels for you. If your knees are up and the soles of the feet come together, you can place some pillows underneath, right under the thigh area, or something to support those knees where they're at. So again, this is just another way to modify and keep those legs supported, because they can pull tension, extra tension, while we're trying to hold them in a position. So it's very important that we build the support up to where you are. You can always remove the support as things start to come down. So I'm going to take a hold of my ankles. So I've got a hold of my ankles, and I'm going to do this cat-cow, this spinal movement again. So I'm going to do it with my feet together, my soles of my feet together. And you can take any modification here. If your feet are on the ground, you're sitting in a chair, that's fine too. You can do another round of these cat-cows. I've got my ankles like this, and I'm going to hold on, and I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to exhale and really exaggerate my shoulders forward. Some flexion and extension in the spine. Lift up and exhale. Up and exhale. Come down, round the back. Up. That's the cow. Exhale. What we're doing when we come up is really opening up the front of the chest. Getting some expansion across the front of the chest. And bringing those shoulders back. Teaching the shoulders that as they move back and down, that we're supporting the upper back. And as we get some expansion and contraction, it teaches the body too that we're not going to hold on too tight in one area and that we're still breathing as we move. So we're still getting that oxygen to every cell. 2 more, wherever you're at. Inhale up, exhale down. Last one, inhale up and exhale down. And then come back to neutral. You can kind of butterfly your legs a little bit, like little wings up and down, and then take your legs out, shake them out. Wherever you're at, shake out your legs. We're just getting things to move. We're going to do some windshield wipers with the hips. So my feet, here's my feet. I'm going to place them right where my knees are. I'm going to take them wide apart. So I've got an extra mat out in front of me, and my feet are about as wide as the mat. I'm going to bring my hands behind me, and I'm just going to windshield wiper my legs side to side. Just get those hips, hip joints, some lubrication here. Get them extended, moving. They don't have to come all the way to the floor. Meet yourself where you're at. They could be just like this. You could be doing just this. You could be doing this. You could be doing this. That's okay. Meet yourself wherever you're at with your extension of your body, wherever it's at. Just a few more here. Inhaling and exhaling as you go. Inhaling and exhaling. Now, if it gets too much weight on the backs of your arms, see that you're moving your shoulders in. You're still opening up the chest here. What happens is we start to go like this. Oh, my back, yeah. Let's keep it in check. You can relax it and contract it again, just to give yourself a moment. Just a few more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are done. So here's another fun little exercise. You can kind of see my feet. I'm going to use the wall back here. Ooh, look at that. I've got some light on my shoulder. So if you have the space to do this, and wherever you're at, again, you can do this in a chair, but if you're on the ground, your buttocks isn't all the way to the wall. There's a little bit of space behind me from the wall or wherever I'm seated. I'm going to have my hands down. Hands are down by my side. My heels are pressing in. So I'm pushing my heels down into the ground and flexing my ankles. So we're working on the feet here, getting the fascia to open up in the feet. So I'm just going to relax my feet and just shake them out a little bit with the heels on the ground. So they're not in flexion. They're just shaking out my feet a little bit here. And then I'm going to flex my ankles so my toes come towards my knees and back towards my abdomen. And I'm going to open up my toes, which that means one of the other ways to say that is to take the big toes and move them towards one another and see if we can move the baby toes away from our big toes. And then all the other toes get a little bit of space. And then relax it. Shake it out, bring it to the ground, shake it out. And then bring it back up. It starts to get very tense. We don't want the body to think that's what we have to do. We want to allow it some time, shake it out. Bring it back up, flex, open them up, then bring them back down, shake them out. So we don't want to keep them there too long. And now, so this is going to be the really fun part. And I think you can probably see a little bit. I've got my ankles flexed. Now I can let them go, relax, shake out your whole legs if you want, anytime. Do that at any time throughout your practice. But I'm going to bring those feet up. I'm going to open up my toes. And then I'm going to start to reach the toe mounds. So that's this part of your foot right here towards the ground first as the toes stay open like a fan. And then I'm going to bring them down to the ground. And then I'm going to lift the toes, toe mounds, and then up onto the heels. And then I'm going to shake them out. So what that's going to look like, I'm just going to show you from the side. So here's my ankle inflection. Oh, look at that. Here's my ankle inflection. And then I'm going to extend through my toe mound and open up my toes and reach that down to the ground first. And then my whole foot comes down. And then I'm going to bring it up with flexion of my ankles. So my toes are reaching up, and then the toe mounds are reaching down, and that actually brings my toes nice and open. And it's a practice. So this is the important part to realize. It's not, you may not even get your toe to move at all, but you're telling it, you're giving it a signal, you're bringing some sensory input back with a thought. So that's a very important aspect of it, is the way you use your thoughts to find that sensation, to find that extension. And you can practice this at any time. And what it's doing too is extending along the fascial chains here in the front of the foot as well. And then here on the back of the leg. This is very important because what happens when we don't do this kind of work is it shortens and tightens and we don't have ankle flexibility, and we don't work on that enough. It is so important to work on ankle and toe flexibility and dexterity. And that's a lot of brain power. That's a lot of neuroplasticity, which if you're not familiar with neuroplasticity, it's going to be something I talk about a lot, and I do. Very important. So here's our next little thing. This is a balance on the sit bones. This is very important. So what we did when we had our legs apart like this for our windshield wipers, so it's the same setup. So you're going to have your feet wide apart, your sit bones on the ground. I'm going to move the flesh out of my buttocks so I can even feel my sit bones a little better. And I've got my feet wide apart. And I'm going to come up on my toes. And I've got my arms behind me for support. And if you bend your elbows a little bit, you've got a point of stability here. The toes are keeping you stable. And the hands are keeping you stable. So if I lift my hands, I fall backwards. If I let my feet go, my knees fall out with no engagement. But I've got some engagement. I'm not pushing too much, I'm not tightening too much, but I have some points of stability to work with here. As I have my hands down here, I've got my fingers spread wide open. So my fingers are spread nice and wide, and I'm gonna straighten my elbows and move my shoulders back. And then I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna bend my elbows so that my shoulders come down. And then I'm going to move them in so that my shoulders come more towards my spine, my shoulder blades. I'm going to straighten my arms, open up that front of the chest. That's a little back bend. So you're getting a little back bend here. We're going to add something to it. So we're just here, fingers spread wide. We're going to bend the elbows, take the shoulders down. So you can see if I exaggerate, isn't that great? The light's right on it. So if I lift and take them up, I'm going to take them down first. I'm going to move my elbows in towards themselves a bit. So I'm bringing the elbows in. That brings my shoulder blades in towards my back. And then I'm going to straighten my arms to get this little back bend, which a back bend isn't bending at the center of your back into a pretzel. It's stabilizing your upper back and shoulders. So we're creating stability. We're also expanding the front of the chest. And that's a nice inhale. So while we're here, take a deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Then you can shake it out, integrate it. Get some movement. Teach your body that things are moving. You can even move your hands. Now, with fascia, what's really great in lymphatic work, always move towards your heart. So if your hands are down here, you're moving this way towards your heart. It's a good way to think about it. This way, we're moving up towards the heart. Any kind of fascial and lymphatic, just sweeping towards the heart, keeping that circulation going, giving a little assist. One more thing, we're going to come back with the hands. A little more relaxed in the front of the chest, but we want stability here. Back up on my toes. I'm just going to lift my right leg, bring it down, just see how it feels. Lift my left leg, bring it down. Lift and down, lift and down. Now, every time I'm lifting it down, I'm opening up my toes and bringing my toes to the ground. Reach your toes to the ground. And press that toe man in as it comes down. Open up your toes. So pretty simple, right? Now, again, if this gets to be too much weight on your arms and you need a break, take it, shake it out, come back. Let's do a few more of these. Now, progressively, this can be added on to. You can start to straighten your leg all the way out and flex the ankle. The zoom, I'm working with the zoom here. So I'm just I love it. I don't know how my camera has decided to do that, but it has. So I'm getting a little bit of, wherever you're at, meet yourself where you're at. Just some leg raises here. And this is extending through the sides of the legs. It's working the legs too at the same time. So do as many reps as you feel is best for you. And where your level of today is where you're going to be. And if we push too far, we start to damage the tissues and our thoughts become a little bit changed. And we just want to adapt it so we are in a place where we're meeting ourselves where we're at. So we're not, if this is too much and it's a lot of effort and energy, let's take it down a notch. Because for me, that's a little bit, that's a lot right now to extend. So I'm just going to keep it at this. I like this right here for me. And again, I need a moment. Shake out my arms. And then I'm going to shake out my legs too. And then we're going to come back to the center. And we're going to get ready to let it all go. So I'm going to come back so you can see. I'm going to let myself down. So my legs are bent, my feet are on the floor. If I'm coming to Shavasana, which is corpse pose, final pose, just to have a little bit of letting go here, I'm just going to walk myself down, walk my spine down, keeping my legs bent as I can. We don't want to strain anything too much as we're coming down to this position. There's options here. So feet can come wide. Knees can come in towards each other and rest on each other. That's a great way to help the lower back if you have back issues. So knees can come in. This is final pose with the palms facing up. And we're going to roll. If it feels good to you to do this, and it's a great way to keep the chest open just for this beginning of the final pose, I'm going to turn my elbow under. So I'm going to turn it so my palm goes up to the ceiling and my thumb goes towards the floor. And I'm going to do that the same on the other side. My chest is lifted. And then just to adjust my tailbone, because I got a little bit of an arch and a pinch, I don't want that. I'm going to press my feet into the ground. I'm going to move like a little bridge, baby bridge, but I'm just moving my buttocks. If you want to take your buttock flesh and move it as it comes down, you're going to take that little pinch out of the lower back as you come down to your back. You can, again, take your feet wide apart, toes come in just slightly, knees rest on each other. That's a great resting position if your back is tight and there's a pinch in there. You can also put your legs on a chair. You can also have a bolster under your knees. You can also scrape your heels down and be fully extended on the ground. You can take many choices, meet yourself where you're at and how you feel today. And as you're here, just start to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Let the backs of the hands be heavy on the ground. Let the feet splay open. It's best if your feet aren't touching the wall or anything. If they're extended, your legs are fully extended. We're just keeping the chest open. There's this nice expansion, and take a nice deep breath in. Fill up all the way to your collarbones, and as you exhale, release the breath into the heaviness of the upper back. Shoulders feel heavier on the ground. Inhale again, and as you exhale, feel everything coming closer to the ground. It is releasing down, so all of the touch points are grounded and safe. So we're just allowing whatever is touching the ground. If you're doing this seated upright, you're still stable and supported by your chair. Legs are feeling heavy. And you're just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, and just allowing your breath to be your normal breath here. Just allowing your breath to be normal, and let everything sink down and release everything that you've learned, all of the thoughts that you have up to this moment. On your next exhale, release it into the ground. Release it through all the touch points. Let it melt your body into the ground. And just clearing the mind, clearing the body of any excess tension. A lot of things to let go of that we learned today, and that's okay. And just 2 more breaths here. Just 2 more inhales, exhales. And on your third inhale, you're going to bend your legs. If they're extended, place them on the floor. If your knees were in towards one another, you're just going to separate your knees. You're going to press your feet into the floor, and you're going to roll to your side. If you're seated upright, you're going to start to open your eyes. You're going to press yourself up with consciousness. So however you're coming up, to use your consciousness to how you're moving, to bring to the awareness of your movement. And then as you come up, we're just going to meet in the most comfortable seated position you can find today. Sitting upright, we're going to bring our hands to the center chest, elbows descending, bowing your head to your chest. And thank you so much for being here today, showing up for practice, following along with yourself, honoring your body and your mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm going to stop the recording. Good heavens, I'm going to fix this camera, I swear. All right.